She said, "I have never actually been in love with you." I said yes because it made sense. 4 months before our wedding, I replied, "Thanks for being honest," canceled deposits, and started questioning every "I love you" from the past 3 years. Hours later, the answer came. I can't believe I'm writing this. I'm Jake, 29M, been with my fiancée Brooke, 27F, for 3 years. I proposed last Christmas. We've been planning our wedding for October. Everything seemed perfect until last night when our entire relationship imploded during what was supposed to be a simple conversation about seating charts. I work in sales for a tech startup. She's in marketing at a healthcare company. We met through mutual friends 3 years ago, moved in together after a year. Everything felt natural and right. Both our families love us together. We want the same things like a house in the suburbs, couple kids, golden retriever, the whole package. But last night changed everything. We were going over final details for the reception, arguing about whether we needed assigned seating or could do open seating, whether the chicken or salmon was a better main course option. Stupid stuff that shouldn't matter. I was getting frustrated because she seemed checked out, giving one-word answers while scrolling through her phone. "Babe, can you focus for like 10 minutes? We need to get these numbers to the caterer tomorrow." That's when she put her phone down and got this weird distant look. Not angry, not sad, just empty, like she was seeing our whole relationship from the outside for the first time. "Jake, can I ask you something?" "Yeah, of course. Do you think what we have is real love or just comfortable love?" I'm staring at her like she just asked if the sky is purple. "What do you mean? What's the difference?" She takes this deep breath, and I can see her working up to something. My stomach starts dropping because nothing good ever starts with, "I need to be honest with you. I've been thinking about marriage a lot lately, watching other couples, reading articles about relationships, trying to figure out if what we have is what marriage should be built on." Okay. I'm confused as hell because what's wrong with what we have? We're happy, we work well together, we're building a life together. "Jake, I need to ask you something, and I want you to be completely honest with me. When you think about marrying me, are you excited about marrying me specifically, or are you excited about being married?" The question catches me off guard because I've never really thought about it that way. Both, I guess. I mean, I want to marry you because I love you, but yeah, I'm also ready to be married. Start the next chapter, you know. She nods but doesn't look satisfied with that answer. Then she drops the bomb that changes everything. "Jake, I don't think I've ever been in love with you." I'm sitting there like someone just spoke a foreign language. The words don't compute. 3 years together. Living together for 2 years. Engaged for 10 months. Ring on her finger that cost me 3 months' salary. And she's telling me she doesn't love me. What do you mean? You tell me you love me every day. I do love you. I care about you deeply. I want good things for you. I love you like family. But I don't think it's the kind of love people get married for. I'm sitting there like someone just spoke a foreign language. 3 years together. Living together for 2 years. Engaged for 10 months. And she's telling me she doesn't love me? But then she keeps talking and it gets worse. "I said yes when you proposed because it felt like the right time. You're good for me, you're stable, you treat me well. Everyone says we're perfect together. I thought maybe the feelings would grow stronger as we got closer to the wedding, but they haven't." The crazy part? She still wants to get married. Says love isn't just feelings, it's choosing to build a life with someone. Says we're compatible and that matters more than passion. Says she's not the type for grand romantic gestures anyway, so maybe this is just how love looks for her. I don't even know how to process this. I thought she loved me. I mean, she acts like she loves me. She's affectionate. She says I love you. We have a good physical relationship. She seems happy. But apparently there's some deeper level of feeling that I never noticed was missing. The worst part is now I'm questioning everything. Do I actually love her, or am I just in love with our life together? When I think about losing her, am I sad about losing Brooke specifically? Or losing our plans, our future, the wedding we've already put deposits on? We have $15K in wedding deposits. Both families are excited. Her dress is hanging in our closet. Save the dates went out months ago, and she's telling me she doesn't love me but wants to go through with it anyway because we make sense together. I told her we need time to think. I've been sleeping in the guest room for 2 days. She keeps trying to talk about it like it's a minor hiccup we can work through. She genuinely doesn't seem to understand why this is devastating to me. My head is spinning. Is this normal? Do people get married without being in love? Am I being dramatic for thinking this is a deal breaker? Part of me wonders if she's right. We do work well together. We want the same things. Maybe passionate love is overrated. But another part of me feels like I've been living a lie for 3 years. Like she's been going through the motions of loving me without actually feeling it. And if that's true, what else about our relationship isn't real? I need outside perspectives before I make any decisions. Has anyone been through something like this? Am I crazy for thinking your fiancé should actually be in love with you? Update 1. Sorry for the delay updating. Had to work through some stuff and honestly didn't know how to put this into words. The response to my first post was overwhelming. A lot of you said I needed to dig deeper, have the hard conversation, and find out exactly what her feelings are. So I did. I wish I hadn't. Saturday morning I told Brooke we needed complete honesty about where we stand. No sugarcoating, no trying to spare feelings, just the truth about what she feels for me. I made coffee for both of us, sat down at our kitchen table, and said we weren't getting up until we figured this out. She agreed, said she'd been thinking about it too and wanted to clear the air. She seemed almost relieved that I was forcing the conversation. I've been trying to understand my own feelings, she started. I keep asking myself what love is supposed to feel like, and I think I've been confusing different types of love. You guys, it was so much worse than I thought. She explained that when she says she loves me, like family, she means exactly that. The way you love a brother or a close friend. You care about them, you want good things for them, you enjoy spending time with them, but there's no romantic spark, no passion, no desire that goes deeper than companionship. It's like, she paused, trying to find the right words. You know how you feel about your best friend Mike? You love him, you do anything for him, you enjoy hanging out with him, but you don't miss him when he's not around. You don't think about him during the day or get excited when he texts you. That's how you feel about me? I asked, and my voice came out smaller than I intended. I think so, yeah. I needed specifics. I asked her point blank. When I'm not here, do you miss me? Like actually miss me, not just notice that I'm gone. She thought for a long moment, and the fact that she had to think about it told me everything. Not really. I think about you sometimes, wonder how your day went, but I don't feel incomplete when you're not here. I don't count down hours until you get home. Do you ever just think about me during the day? Like random thoughts about something I said or did? Sometimes, but not often. Usually only if someone asks about you or if something reminds me of you. Each answer was like a small knife. I kept pushing because I needed to understand the full scope of what I'd been missing. When you see couples who are obviously crazy about each other, does that make you wish we had that? This one she really struggled with. She stared at her coffee cup for what felt like 5 minutes. Finally, I used to think those couples were just being dramatic for attention, but lately, watching Katie with her fiancé Tom, I've wondered if I'm missing something. Katie is her best friend and maid of honor. Katie talks about her guy constantly, lights up when he texts, gets genuinely excited about planning their life together. Apparently Brooke has been noticing the difference. Then I asked the question I was most afraid to hear the answer to. If I hadn't proposed, would you have been relieved? She started crying. Not sad crying, relieved crying. She admitted she'd been feeling pressured by timelines and expectations. All her friends were getting engaged. Both our families kept making comments about marriage, and she felt like it was the natural next step even though part of her wasn't ready. I said yes because saying no would have meant ending everything, and I didn't want to lose what we have. You're good to me, Jake. You're probably the best boyfriend I've ever had. I just don't feel about you the way I think wives should feel about husbands. The physical stuff? She compared it to working out, something she does because it's good for the relationship, not because she craves it. She's never been particularly physical with anyone, she says, so she figured that was just her personality. But here's what really made me mad. I asked her what she thinks love should feel like, and she described exactly how I feel about her. The missing her when she's gone, thinking about her randomly, getting excited to see her at the end of the day, wanting to share everything with her first. She said, That's how you feel about me, isn't it? Yeah, it is. And hearing her describe it like some foreign concept made me realize she's never felt that way about me. Not once in 3 years. I asked why she wants to go through with the wedding if she doesn't love me that way. Her reasoning is practical. We have the same life goals. We don't fight much. We're financially compatible. Both families approve. She thinks passionate love is unrealistic for long-term relationships anyway. Says her parents have been married 30 years, and they seem more like partners than lovers, and they're happy. But I keep thinking about my brother Tyler. He got divorced 2 years ago after 8 years of marriage. His ex-wife admitted near the end that she'd never been crazy about him, but thought he was a good choice for building a stable life. Tyler told me it was the most soul-crushing thing he'd ever experienced, spending years trying to earn love that was never going to come naturally. After our conversation, I've been paying attention to how Brooke acts around me versus how Katie acts around her fiancé. The difference is stark. Katie gets excited when her guy calls. She talks about him like he's the most interesting person in the world. She's genuinely enthusiastic about marrying him specifically, not just getting married. Brooke talks about our wedding like a project to complete. She's organized and efficient about planning, but there's no joy in it. No excitement about becoming my wife. She's planning a wedding, not celebrating our love story. I asked her directly, "Are you excited to marry me, or are you excited to be married?" She couldn't answer that question. We've called off physical intimacy until we figure this out. Living in the same space but basically as roommates while we both process. She seems frustrated that I can't just accept her version of love as enough. I'm starting to understand that I can't spend my life with someone who sees me as a good choice, rather than an irresistible one. The wedding is in 4 months. Invitations haven't gone out yet, but save the dates did. Deposits are paid. Both families are expecting updates on planning. I'm supposed to be marrying someone who's excited about me, right? Someone who chose me because they can't imagine their life without me, not because I check the right boxes on their list. I feel like I'm losing my mind. 3 years of what I thought was a loving relationship, and it turns out I was the only one actually in love. Update 2. After my last post, I decided I needed to talk to Tyler, my older brother. He went through a divorce 2 years ago, and I figured he might have some insight. What he told me changed everything. Tyler's marriage lasted 8 years. He and his ex-wife Sarah seemed happy from the outside. They traveled together, bought a house, had similar friend groups, never fought much. But near the end, during marriage counseling, Sarah admitted something that destroyed him. She told me she loved me, but she was never in love with me, Tyler said. She said I was everything she thought she should want in a husband, stable, responsible, good father potential, but she never felt that spark, that excitement about being with me specifically. Sound familiar? Tyler described what those 8 years were like from his perspective. I was always trying to earn something that was never going to come naturally. I'd bring her flowers and she'd say thank you, but it felt obligatory. I'd plan romantic dates and she'd participate but never seemed genuinely excited. I kept thinking if I just did more, loved her better, was more thoughtful, she'd eventually feel about me the way I felt about her. The worst part, he continued, was that she thought her way of loving me was enough. She couldn't understand why I needed more than companionship and partnership. To her, romantic love was something from movies, not real life. But I was dying inside, feeling like I was performing for an audience that would never really appreciate the show. This hit me like a truck, because it's exactly what's happening with Brooke and me. Tyler then told me something that made my blood run cold. The day Sarah asked for the divorce, she said she'd met someone at work who made her understand what she'd been missing with me. She said for the first time in her life, she couldn't stop thinking about someone. She said she finally understood what all the fuss was about. She called me 3 months after our divorce was final. She was engaged to this guy. 8 years with me and she could take it or leave it, but 3 months with him and she knew she wanted to spend her life with him. I asked Tyler if he regretted not trying to make it work, if maybe Sarah's type of love would have been enough. Jake, being with someone who settled for you is a special kind of hell. You're constantly performing for love that will never come naturally. Every day you're trying to be worthy of feelings that just aren't there. It makes you question everything about yourself. Am I not attractive enough? Not interesting enough? What's wrong with me that my own wife doesn't really want to be with me? He paused and looked at me seriously. The woman you marry should be excited about you. Not grateful for you. Not comfortable with you. Excited. She should miss you when you're gone. She should think you're funny and interesting and the best part of her day. Anything less than that, and you're both settling. I've been thinking about this conversation nonstop. Is that what I want? A lifetime of trying to earn enthusiasm that's never going to come? Always wondering if my wife actually wants to be there or if she's just resigned to it? Meanwhile, the wedding planning continues in the most depressing way possible. Brooke keeps bringing me decisions to make: flowers, music, menu choices, like we're planning a business conference. There's no joy in it for her, just efficiency. She wants to get everything booked and confirmed so we can stop worrying about details and focus on more important things. But what could be more important than the day we're supposedly celebrating our love? I suggested postponing the wedding to give us more time to work through this. She got frustrated and said postponing would be admitting there's a problem. And she doesn't think there's a problem. She thinks I'm creating drama where none needs to exist. We're good together, Jake. We want the same things. We don't fight. We're building something stable. Why isn't that enough? Because I don't want to be someone's sensible choice. I want to be someone's passionate choice. I keep thinking about what Tyler said about his ex-wife suddenly understanding what love felt like when she met someone else. What if Brooke meets someone someday who makes her feel the way she's never felt about me? What if I spend the next 10 years trying to inspire feelings that aren't there, only to have her leave when she finally experiences what real attraction feels like? The deposits are paid. The venue is booked. Both families are asking about invitation timing. Brooke's dress is hanging in our closet like a ghost of the future we're supposed to have. But I can't stop thinking about Tyler's words. The woman you marry should be excited about you. Brooke isn't excited about me. She's comfortable with me. She's resigned to me. But excited? No. I'm starting to realize that might be the difference between a marriage and a business partnership. Final update: it's over. Weddings canceled. Deposits are lost. Both families are pissed. But I'm writing this from my new studio apartment, and for the first time in months, I can actually breathe. 2 days after my last post, I made the decision. I'd been staying at my buddy Mike's place for a few days to clear my head, and when I came back to our apartment, I knew what I had to do. Brooke was in the kitchen making dinner like nothing had changed, and seeing her act so normal while my world was falling apart just confirmed that we were living in completely different realities. I sat her down at our kitchen table, the same table where we'd had that devastating conversation 2 weeks earlier, and told her I couldn't marry someone who doesn't love me, even if she's willing to go through with it. Brooke, I've been thinking about everything you said, and I can't do this. I can't marry someone who loves me like a brother. Her reaction told me everything I needed to know. She didn't fight for us. She didn't beg me to reconsider. She didn't cry or get angry or even seem particularly surprised. She just nodded and said, "I've been expecting this conversation." That hit me harder than anything else she could have said. She'd been expecting it. She knew this was coming and she'd been mentally preparing for it while I'd been torturing myself trying to figure out how to make it work. "I've been dreading having to make this choice," she admitted. "Part of me hoped you'd just accept how I feel and we could make it work, because I do care about you and I don't want to hurt you. But another part of me knew this wasn't fair to either of us." We talked for 3 hours that night. She thanked me for being brave enough to end something that would have made us both miserable eventually. She said she'd been feeling trapped but didn't know how to get out without being the villain who breaks up a perfectly good relationship for selfish reasons. "Everyone would have blamed me," she said. "They'd say I was throwing away a good man for unrealistic expectations. But you're right. You deserve someone who's excited about you, not someone who's resigned to you." We spent the weekend dividing our belongings and calling vendors. Lost about $8,000 in deposits, but honestly, that feels like a bargain compared to what a divorce would have cost down the line. The family reactions were about what you'd expect. My parents were supportive once I explained the situation. My mom said, "I want you to marry someone who lights up when you walk in the room, not someone who barely looks up from her phone." Brooke's parents were harder to deal with. Her mom called me selfish for throwing away a good woman over romantic fantasies. Her dad was more understanding but clearly disappointed about losing the son-in-law they'd already accepted into the family. The worst part was telling our friends. We'd become that couple everyone expected to make it. Katie, Brooke's best friend, was devastated about losing her maid of honor role, but she admitted she'd noticed Brooke's lack of enthusiasm about the wedding. "She talked about your wedding like she was planning a work event," Katie said. "I kept waiting for her to seem excited about marrying you specifically, but it never happened." It's been 2 weeks since we officially ended things. Brooke moved back in with her parents temporarily while she looks for her own place. We've barely talked except for logistics about the apartment lease and dividing up the last few shared bills. But here's the thing that confirms I made the right choice. Last week she texted me saying she met someone at a work conference and finally understands what everyone means about butterflies and not being able to stop thinking about someone. She's been talking to this guy non-stop for a week and says she's never felt anything like it before. 3 years with me and she could take it or leave it. 1 week with this guy and she's experiencing what she now realizes was missing with us. I'm happy for her, honestly. She deserves to feel that kind of excitement about someone. And I deserve to be with someone who feels that way about me. Tyler was right. Being with someone who settled for you is a special kind of hell. I'd rather be alone than spend my life wondering if my wife actually wants to be there. I'm 29, starting over. Living in a studio apartment with furniture from Facebook Marketplace and a mattress on the floor. Some days that feels depressing as hell, especially when I see couples our age getting married and buying houses. But other days, it feels like freedom. I'm not looking for anyone new right now. I need time to figure out what I actually want versus what I think I'm supposed to want. But when I do start dating again, I'll know the difference between someone who thinks I'm a good choice and someone who thinks I'm an irresistible choice.